A very good morning to all of you. Now, today we will discuss about NABL accreditation principles and procedure. Myself Priyanka, Senior Assistant Professor BBDU Lucknow. In previous lecture, we have discussed about introduction of NABL, that what is NABL, what are the scopes of NABL, what are the rights and duties of NABL, what is organizational structure of NABL. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss about principles and procedures that is required for NABL accreditation. So, let us start our topic. Now, first one is preparing for accreditation. How to prepare for NABL accreditation? So, the first one is the CAB, that is Conformity Assessment Body, should make a definite plan of action and nominate a responsible person to coordinate all activities related to seeking accreditation. Second one is the CAB should get fully acquainted with relevant NABL documents and understand the assessment procedure and methodology for filling the online application. NABL only accepts online application and do not entertain any applications in hard copy. For this, you can refer website www.nabl-india.org. The third one is CAB needs to ascertain the status of its existing quality system and technical competence with regards to the requirements of ISO IEC 17025-2017 or ISO 15189-2012 or ISO IEC 17043-2010 or ISO 17034-2016, whichever is relevant and also requirements of NABL. Fourth one is CAB has to prepare a management system document or quality manual which has to be supplemented by a set of other documents like procedural manuals, work instructions, etc. The questions the CAB needs to address are: first one is, does the CAB have a quality management system? If yes, is the quality management system document and effective? If no, what are the corrective steps needed? So these questions have to be addressed by CAB. Last one is, for preparing the management system document, quality manual or verifying its contents, the CAB may get its technical personnel trained in training programs. On quality management system for CAB personnel is organized by various institutes. The proposed person responsible for quality management system must have to undergo 4 days formal training on management system and internal audit based on relevant standard or any other equivalent training on the relevant standard in case of overseas CAB. So, how CAB should prepare for accreditation? The CAB should make a definite plan of action and nominate a responsible person. The CAB should get fully acquainted with the relevant NABL documents to understand the assessment procedure and methodology for filling online application. Also, CAB needs to ascertain the status of its existing quality system and technical competence. CAB has to prepare a management system document or quality manual, and for preparing the management system document, quality manual, or verifying its contents, the CAB may get its technical personnel trained in training programs. Now, what are the eligibilities for accreditation? So the eligibilities are first eligibility is the applicant CAB must comply with all clauses of ISO IEC 17025/2005, ISO IEC 17025/2017, or ISO 15189/2012, or ISO IEC 17043/2010, or ISO 17034/2016, whichever is applicable. In case the laboratory performs site testing, calibration, it must also comply with NABL 130 document, which is specific criteria for site testing and site calibration laboratories. The applicant CAB must have participated satisfactorily in the proficiency testing program wherever applicable, conducted by NABL or APAC or any other national or international accredited / recognized PT provider. If no suitable PT program is available, the CAB can initiate an inter-laboratory comparison with adequate number of accredited laboratories. The minimum stipulated participation for laboratories is 1 parameter, type of test, calibration per discipline prior to grant of accreditation, and an ongoing program as per NABL 163. Also, the applicant CAB must have conducted at least one internal audit and a management review before the submission of application. So, what are the eligibilities for accreditation? The applicant CAB must comply with all clauses of required ISO IEC, that is applicable, or whichever is applicable, or in case the laboratory performs site testing or calibration, it must comply with NABL 130 document, and the applicant CAB must have participated satisfactorily in the proficiency testing program wherever applicable, that is conducted by NABL or any other national or international accredited recognized PT provider, and the applicant CAB must have conducted at least one internal audit and a management review before the submission of application. Now, this is the flow diagram for accreditation procedure. So, how CAB can get accreditation? So, first step is application for accreditation by CAB. Second one is acknowledgement and scrutiny of application by NABL Secretariat. Third one is document review by lead assessor. Fourth one is pre-assessment of CAB, which is optional, and this pre-assessment is also done by lead assessor. Next is final assessment of CAB by assessment team. Then scrutiny of assessment report by NABL Secretariat. The next step is recommendations for accreditation by Accreditation Committee. Next step is approval for accreditation by Chairman NABL, and finally there is issuance of accreditation certificate by NABL Secretariat. And all these steps from acknowledgement and scrutiny of application and approval for accreditation by Chairman NABL, in between these steps information to CAB and necessary corrective action by CAB is also included. Now let us discuss all these steps that is required for getting accreditation by National Accreditation Board for testing and calibration laboratories one by one in detail. So first one, as you all know, is application for accreditation. So CABs are required to apply through NABL web portal through the website www.nabl-india.org to NABL in the prescribed application form. NABL 151, NABL 152, NABL 153 is the prescribed application form for testing, including medical, along with associated sample collection center facilities or sample collection facilities oblique calibration laboratories as per ISO IEC 17025-2017 or ISO 15189-2012. Next is application form NABL 156 for medical imaging conformity assessment bodies MICAB as per ISO 15189-2012. And third one is an NABL 180 and NABL 190 for proficiency testing providers and reference material producers as per ISO IEC 17043-2010 or ISO IEC 17034-2016, whichever is applicable, along with a signed copy of NABL 131. All the application form must be accompanied with prescribed application fee as detailed in NABL 100. NABL 180 and NABL 190 for PTP and RMP are required in one copy along with one copy of the manual of the CAB. And CAB has to take special care in filling the scope of accreditation or uploading on the web portal for which the CAB wishes to apply. In case the CAB finds any clause in part or full not applicable to the CAB, it is expected to furnish the reasons behind that. So, first step is application for accreditation by CAB, and these application forms are available on the website of NABL, that is www.nabl-india.org, and the form for testing including medical and associated sample collection center facilities, calibration laboratories are NABL 151, NABL 152 and NABL 153. And the application form for medical imaging conformity assessment bodies are NABL 156, and for PTP and RMP are NABL 180 and NABL 190, and all these application form must be accompanied with application fee, that is prescribed application fee as detailed in NABL 100. Now the next step is acknowledgement and registration of application. NABL Secretariat through web portal on receipt of online application form along with management system document or quality manual and the fees, send an acknowledgement with a unique ID number to the CAB. So whenever NABL receive or get any application regarding accreditation, so they send an acknowledgement with a unique ID number to the CAB. The unique ID of the CAB will be used for further correspondence with the CAB. And after scrutiny of application for its completeness in all respects, NABL Secretariat may ask for additional information or clarification at this stage if found necessary. The third step in accreditation procedure is appointment of lead assessor. So this lead assessor is appointed by NABL Secretariat, and the lead assessor appointed by NABL Secretariat does the document review on behalf of NABL and submits the report to NABL Secretariat. So the firstly the accreditation body, that is NABL, appoint a lead assessor, and this lead assessor is appointed by NABL Secretariat, and this lead assessor does the document review and submits the report to NABL Secretariat. Now the fourth step in accreditation procedure is document review. So the preliminary document review is carried out by the NABL Secretariat, whereas the detailed review is carried out by lead assessor. The lead assessor informs NABL regarding the document review, indicating inadequacies if any. The CAB amends the relevant documents and also implements the management system accordingly. Now the fifth step in accreditation procedure is pre-assessment. So this pre-assessment is done if there are no inadequacies in the document review. A pre-assessment of CAB is conducted by lead assessor, that is appointed by NABL. Since pre-assessment is optional, CAB shall express its willingness in writing to undergo the same, because it is an optional process. So CAB can do this, or CAB express its willingness in writing to undergo the same. The CAB also ensure their preparedness by carrying out an internal audit and a management review before the pre-assessment. What is the need of this pre-assessment? The pre-assessment evaluates non-conformities, if any, assesses the degree of preparedness of the CAB, and determine the number of assessors based on the scope of accreditation, number of key locations to be visited. The lead assessor then submits a pre-assessment report to NABL Secretariat with a copy to the CAB. The CAB takes corrective actions on non-conformities raised on the documented management system and its implementation, and submits a report to NABL Secretariat. Now, the sixth step is assessment. After the CAB has taken corrective actions that is required, NABL proposes constitution of an assessment team. This team includes the lead assessor, the technical assessors / experts, in order to cover various fields within the scope of accreditation South. NABL may also nominate an observer. After the constitution of assessment team is finalized, NABL fixes dates for on-site assessment in consultation with the CAB, the lead assessor and the technical assessors / experts. The assessment team reviews the CAB's documented management system and verifies its compliance with the requirements of ISO IEC 17025-2005, ISO IEC 17025-2017 or ISO 15189-2012 or ISO IEC 17043-2010 or ISO 17034-2016, whichever is applicable, and relevant specific criteria wherever applicable, and other NABL policies. Now, the assessment report contains the evaluation of technical manpower, all relevant material examined, test witnessed, including those of replicate testing measurement, compliance to ISO IEC guidelines, whichever is applicable, and relevant NABL specific criteria. This report prepared by the assessment team is sent to NABL Secretariat, and a copy of summary of assessment report and copies of non-conformities, if any, are provided to the CAB at the end of the assessment visit. Assessment of each declared sample collection center facility of a medical laboratory will be done in each accreditation cycle. This may be done along with assessment of the laboratory or separately, as the case may be. Now, the next step is scrutiny of assessment report. The assessment report is examined by NABL Secretariat and follow-up action as required is initiated. CAB has to take necessary corrective action on non-conformities, concerns, and submit a report to NABL Secretariat within 30 days. NABL also monitors the progress of closing of non-conformities. If any non-conformity is observed during the assessment of a sample collection center facility, the laboratory shall be asked to take corrective actions within 30 days' time. In case the laboratory fails to take corrective actions or there is a consistent system failure, an appropriate and proportionate action against the laboratory will be taken. Now, the next step is accreditation committee. So, after a satisfactory corrective action by the CAB, the accreditation committee examines the assessment report, additional information received from the CAB, and consequent verification, if any. In case the accreditation committee finds deficiencies in the assessment report, the NABL Secretariat obtains clarification from the lead assessor, and the CAB concerned or the concerned CAB. In case everything is in order, the accreditation committee makes appropriate recommendations regarding accreditation of the CAB to the chairman NABL. All decisions taken by NABL regarding grant of accreditation are open to appeal by the CAB, and this appeal is to be addressed to the CEO NABL. And finally, there is issuance of accreditation certificate. When the recommendation results in the grant of accreditation, NABL issues an accreditation certificate which has a unique number and QR code, discipline, date of validity along with the scope of accreditation. The scope of accreditation for testing laboratory defines discipline, group, materials or products tested, component, parameter or characteristic tested, the techniques, methods and or equipment used. The scope of accreditation for calibration laboratory defines type of instrument or material to be calibrated or measured, calibration or measurement method, and additional parameters where applicable, and CMC in terms of measurement uncertainty. The scope of accreditation for PT providers includes proficiency testing scheme, types of proficiency testing item, or characteristic or type of measurand or type of characteristic or analyte or parameter. The scope of accreditation for RMP defines types of reference materials, CRM, RM or both, category and subcategory, and reference material matrix or artifact, and properties characterized, and the approach used to assign property values / characterization techniques. For site laboratory, test calibrations performed at site are clearly identified in the scope of accreditation while issuing the certificate. So this is the scope of accreditation for medical laboratory, for RMP, for PTP, for testing and calibration laboratories. The applicant CAP must make all payments due to NABL before the accreditation certificates are issued to them. So this is the procedure for getting accreditation from NABL, which includes application by CAP, acknowledgement and scrutiny of application by NABL Secretariat, document review by lead assessor, pre-assessment of CAP, which is optional, and this is also done by lead assessor, then final assessment of CAP by assessment team, then scrutiny of assessment report by NABL Secretariat, then recommendations for accreditation, then approval for accreditation, then issuance of accreditation certificate, finally by NABL Secretariat. Now, integrated assessment of testing laboratories. What is integrated assessment of testing laboratories? This is a unified approach to have a common assessment of laboratories for NABL and regulatory bodies under the ambit of Department of Commerce, Government of India, and Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, that is FSSAI, under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Laboratories applying towards accreditation and recognition / approval by NABL and regulatory bodies under integrated assessment must apply for all the parameters under applied commodity product group as specified by the respective regulatory bodies in the prescribed application form NABL 154, which is available on the NABL website. So integrated assessment of testing laboratories is a unified approach to have a common assessment of laboratory for NABL and regulatory bodies under FSSACI and Ministry of, which is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Now, what are the advantages of integrated assessment of testing laboratories? So, the advantages are the requirements of NABL and additional requirements of regulatory bodies shall be fulfilled through single integrated assessment. Next is additional requirements for regulatory body as defined in NABL 127, that is procedure for integrated assessment and additional requirements of regulatory bodies for testing laboratories shall also be compiled by the testing laboratories. Next one is laboratories shall continuously participate in PT programs for the coverage of the scope in a block of 4 years. Format for the submission of PT plan is available and the form number is 18 of NABL 163, that is available on NABL website. Applicant accredited laboratories shall also comply with the requirements of PT participation of concerned regulatory body as defined in NABL 127, that is procedure for integrated assessment and additional requirements of regulatory bodies for integrated assessment. Apart from the above defined minimum requirements, the laboratory must abide by the PT participation required by the respective regulators, NABL, and regional bodies like APAC. So, the integrated assessment of testing laboratories help that the requirements of NABL and additional requirements to be fulfilled through single integrated assessment. Now come to Quality Assurance Scheme for Basic Composite Medical Laboratories entry level. So NABL has launched this scheme for firstly sensitizing the laboratories performing basic testing to quality practices, and second one is access to quality health care for the citizens residing in villages, small towns, etc. So what is the purpose of this quality assurance scheme for basic composite medical laboratory? To sensitize the laboratories performing basic testing and access to quality health care for the citizens residing in villages, small towns. The criteria is based on the requirements and listed in Gazetted Notification dated 18th May 2018 by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare to amend Clinical Establishments Rules 2012 with addition of components of competence assessment. Interested laboratories are required to submit application with application fee, assessment charges and annual membership fee and undergo third-party assessment by NABL. The scheme documents application for quality assurance scheme for basic composite laboratories NABL, that is NABL 155, and procedure for quality assurance scheme for basic composite laboratories, that is included in NABL 128, are available on the website of NABL, that is www.nabl-india.org.
The laboratories will be recognized for a period of 3 years. It is desired that subsequently the laboratories achieve accreditation as per ISO 15189. Now, what are the procedure for getting this accreditation that is included in quality assurance scheme for basic composite medical laboratories entry level? So this is the flow diagram for that. Procedure is same as that of getting NABL accreditation. Firstly, application for recognition is have to be done by CAB. Then acknowledgement and scrutiny of application by NABL Secretariat. Then PT/EQAS participation exists or initial assessment of CAB. Then review of EQAS report/assessment report by NABL Secretariat. Then there is recommendations for recognition by Quality Assurance Scheme Review Committee. Then approval for recognition by Chairman NABL. And finally issuance of recognition certificate by NABL Secretariat. And between acknowledgement and scrutiny of application and approval for recognition, there is information to CAB and necessary corrective action must be taken by CAB. Now, how to maintain the accreditation given by NABL? First one is conformance to applicable standards and NABL requirements. So, the accredited laboratories at all times shall conform to the requirements of ISO IEC 17025-2017 or ISO 15189-2012 or ISO IEC 17043-2010 or ISO 17034-2016, whichever is applicable and relevant, specific criteria wherever applicable, and also NABL policies. So, the accredited laboratories at all times shall conform to the requirements of ISO IEC and NABL policies. What are the NABL terms and conditions for maintaining accreditation? So, the accredited CABs are required to comply at all times with the terms and conditions of NABL given in NABL 131, that is, terms and conditions for obtaining and maintaining NABL accreditation. Now, the next point for maintaining accreditation include modifications to the accreditation criteria. So, if the accreditation criteria are modified by ISO, ILAC, APAC, NABL, the CAB is informed of this, giving a transition period of at least 6 months to align its operations in accordance with the modified criteria. Now, next point is adverse decision against the laboratories. So, if the CAB at any point of time does not conform to the applicable standards and NABL criteria, NABL may take adverse decision against the CAB like denial of accreditation, scope reduction, abeyance, suspension, or forced withdrawal. So, if the CAB does not conform to the applicable standards and NABL criteria, NABL may deny their accreditation. NABL 216 is procedure for dealing with adverse decision, gives the details. Now, come to surveillance and reassessment. So, NABL applies an assessment program comprising of annual desktop surveillance during each accreditation cycle of 2 years. So, what is desktop surveillance? It consists of calling of records from the cab to ascertain that the cab continues to maintain the requirements of ISO IEC 17025-2005 or ISO IEC 17025-2017 or ISO 15189-2012 or ISO IEC 17043-2010 or ISO 17034-2016, whichever are applicable and relevant NABL specific criteria. Now, reassessment. The accredited cab is subjected to reassessment every 2 years. The cab has to apply 6 months before the expiry of accreditation. Why the cab has to apply 6 months before? So that NABL can organize assessment of the cab and so that the continuity of the accreditation status is maintained. The renewal application is submitted in the prescribed form, that is NABL 151, NABL 152, NABL 153, NABL 180 or NABL 190 in 3 copies along with 2 copies of quality manual of the cab along with the prescribed renewal fee. Now finally, appeals and complaints. So under appeal section, NABL is open to appeals from the cabs against its decisions. The details are provided in NABL 134, and under complaint, NABL is open to receiving complaints for any of the activities performed by its officials, assessors, accreditation committee members and the accredited cabs. The details are provided in NABL 132, procedure for dealing with complaints. So, this is all about principles and procedures of accreditation from NABL, that is National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories. Thank you all for your attention.